So here guys, we're going to show you a technique for the sternocleidomastoid, the SCM. The SCM is a very complex muscle. It's involved in rotation of the head, flexion, and some degree of side bending. Neurologically, it's kind of complex too. It's innervated by the accessory nerve. So we commonly see people who have a wry neck or a stiff neck. They tend to side bend and rotate, their neck's stuck. And that's due to the SCM being hypertonic, as well as the upper trap. So that's torticollis classically. The sternocleidomastoid gets its name from the sternum, so it attaches to the manubrium and the clavicle, and it comes to the mastoid process. So sternocleidomastoid. It's a good way of remembering the anatomy of the muscle. If Kiki just lifts her head for me. So you see this protrusion of muscle, you can just relax. So this is the SCM, lift again. So this is the lateral border, and this is the medial border. Just relax. The SCM is divided up into two portions. You have the sternal portion and the clavicular portion. So if Kiki lifts her head again, so you see here, there's one band of tissue. Here there's another band, and this separation here, guys, is the split of the two divisions of the mastoid. So come again, and relax for me. Lift. One division, the second division. This in between is where we start accessing the scaling, by the way. That's for a later video. So we're gonna position Kiki, I'm gonna show you guys the technique now. So there are many ways to work the SCM, and throughout the Academy videos, we are gonna show you many variations. This is just one that we like to show and teach and use. So I'm gonna slightly rotate Kiki's head away. This will slacken the muscle we are working. Lift your head, Kiki. I always get them to lift and relax, so it allows me to find the lateral border. So I'm gonna come under the border of the SCM here, and I'm gonna create like an S or S shape. So I'm gonna push and bend. So see, I'm creating this crinkle in the SCM here. I'm going to show you a couple of different configurations with the hands. So this is what we're trying to achieve, this bending and torquing of the sternocleidomastoid. Yeah. Feels okay? Mm-hmm. The thing we've got to be careful of, guys, when you're pushing down here, that we don't compress the throat. Lift the head again, relax. That allows me to get a real good grip underneath. And I'm just gonna, here, push. So with this finger, I'm just pulling and anchoring. I'm just trying to tease those muscles apart. What you'll notice with people who have real chronic tightness and lack of elasticity in the skin, you're gonna have a hard time grabbing this muscle and pulling away from the skin. So you might have to play with the head positions. So for example, I can put Kiki's head position here, which is gonna really slacken the sternocleido. Lift the head at 1 inch. And the only reason I have her lift the head is just when she lifts and she relaxes, I get way under the sternocleidomastoid. And I'll just create that S. S. Pushing and anchoring. I can lift again for me. So now I'll come up the front. So I can do it this way too, guys. So it's the same concept. I'm just anchoring the front border now. So she lifts. I slide in behind. And we go this way. Commonly when I'm doing this technique, pushing down from the front, I will generally come in this way, but for camera purposes, it's hard for you guys to see what I'm doing, but the concept's the same. Pulling down, pushing up. Pulling down, pushing up. Pulling down, pushing up. Lift the head. So recall, In the earlier part of the video, we spoke about the two divisions of the sterno. Lift, pull me. So now we're going to focus on this piece, the sterno piece. That's here. So I'll be here. Same concept. I'm just trying to create a S shape with the muscle to create that neurological release. So just be aware when you are working with clients who may have a stiff neck, may lack this sort of mobility of the neck, you will have to play with the angle. For example, I have a couple of clients who are very stiff, and I'll pop them in this position. I use my elbow, so this really slackens the muscle, and I'll do the bending of the muscle with one hand. So take a deep breath in, relax the neck. I'll grab the muscle and I'll twist it with one hand. A little bit harder for us to do. I've got pretty big hands, but it's a way of getting the technique in with them very relaxed. And I can manipulate the position of their head using my body and my arm this way. But ultimately, my preferred way of doing it, if we have to do it this way, then so be it. But ultimately, you want to bring them in this position and use two fingers, two hands. Great technique. SCM falls into the tight line of Young's upper cross syndrome. SCM tight, suboccipitals tight, pec tight. So when we're dealing with postural issues, we need to be addressing pecs, anterior delts, biceps, SCMs, and suboccipitals. So this is a tight muscle that needs to be worked.